The star cruiser Eternal Dawn drifted silently through the darkness of space, its engines humming with a soft pulse that Lily had known her entire life. Born aboard this vessel 17 cycles ago, she had never set foot on a planet. The sleek metal corridors and recycled air were all she had ever known. Lily stood before the wide viewing port in the observation deck, her blue skin shimmering under the light of distant stars. Her four-fingered hand pressed against the cold, transparent barrier that separated her from the vacuum beyond. Two small antennae on her forehead twitched slightly as she focused on a tiny blue-green dot growing slowly larger in the distance. "Earth," she whispered, the words strange on her tongue. "Preparing for orbital entry," announced the ship's automated system. "All non-essential personnel returned to quarters." Lily didn't move. As the daughter of Captain Rem, she enjoyed certain privileges aboard the Eternal Dawn. No one would question her presence here, even during approach procedures. Behind her, the doors slid open with a soft hiss. "Still watching, I see," said Captain Rem, her voice firm but not unkind. The captain's tall, slender form moved to stand beside Lily, her own blue skin a shade darker than her daughter's. "It's beautiful," Lily said simply, eyes fixed on the approaching planet. "Yes, but remember why we're here," Captain Rem replied. "This is a diplomatic mission of great importance. The first formal meeting between the Eridian Collective and Earth governments. We represent our entire species." Lily nodded absently. She had heard this speech many times during their journey. The Eridians had been observing humans for decades, studying them from afar, and finally decided the time was right for official first contact. Captain Rem had been chosen to lead this historic mission. "Your behavior must be exemplary," continued the captain, straightening her formal uniform. "You will join me for the initial meetings, then return to the ship while we conduct negotiations." "I know my duties," Lily said, trying to keep the resentment from her voice. Among Iridians, family was a practical arrangement, designed for efficiency and proper development of offspring. Captain Rem had always ensured Lily was adequately educated and prepared for her future role, but there was little warmth between them. This was normal for Iridians, who viewed emotional attachments as inefficient. "Very good," nodded Captain Remington. "The humans place unusual importance on offspring. Your presence will help create a favorable impression." As Earth grew larger in the viewport, Lily felt a flutter of excitement. The humans were considered strange among the spacefaring races. They formed intense bonds with unrelated individuals, maintained contact with biological relatives long after maturity, and engaged in numerous rituals that seemed to serve no practical purpose. Their society was considered chaotic and inefficient, yet they had achieved remarkable technological progress in a relatively short time. "Remember," Captain Rem said before turning to leave, "observe the humans, but maintain proper distance. Their emotional nature can be contagious." After her mother left, Lily remained at the viewport, watching as the blue-green planet filled the view. White clouds swirled across oceans and land masses in beautiful patterns. Something inside her stirred a longing she couldn't quite name. The landing team assembled in the ship's main hangar bay. Lily stood straight in her formal attire, a simplified version of her mother's uniform that marked her as both not yet adult and of the leadership lineage. 6 other Eridian officials completed the party, all wearing expressions of calm professionalism. "Final briefing," announced Captain Remington. "Our shuttle will land at the designated site in a region called New Mexico. We will be greeted by human representatives, including their chief diplomat, someone named Director Adams. We will exchange formal greetings, present credentials, and discuss preliminary matters. The full negotiations will begin tomorrow." The captain's gaze swept over the assembled team, lingering briefly on Lily. "Remember, humans are emotional and unpredictable. Do not be alarmed by their expressive behaviors. Maintain composure at all times." The journey to Earth's surface was smooth. Lily watched through the shuttle viewport as they descended through clouds, revealing a landscape unlike anything she had seen before. Vast stretches of reddish-brown earth, dotted with scrubby vegetation, stretched to distant mountains. When they landed, Lily felt the strange sensation of natural gravity pulling at her body. The air that filled the cabin when the doors opened smelled different from the recycled atmosphere of the ship, rich with unfamiliar scents. Outside, a group of humans waited. Lily studied them with fascination. Their skin tones varied widely, from pale to dark brown. Their faces were much more expressive than Eridian faces, with eyebrows that moved and lips that stretched into what Lily recognized from her studies as smiles. Captain Rem led the way down the ramp, her posture perfect. "Greetings from the Eridian Collective," she said formally. "I am Captain Rem, appointed emissary." A tall human with silver-streaked dark hair stepped forward. "Welcome to Earth, Captain. I'm Director Adams, representing the United Earth Council." His gaze moved to Lily, and his expression changed subtly. "And who is this young lady?" "This is Lily, my offspring," Captain Rem replied. "She is present as observer and to display our peaceful intentions." Director Adams smiled directly at Lily. "Welcome to Earth, Lily. I hope you'll enjoy your stay with us." There was a warmth in his voice that Lily had never heard from any Eridian. "Thank you," she replied, remembering her protocol training. "It is an honor to visit your world." As the formalities continued, Lily noticed a younger human standing slightly behind Director Adams. A male, probably close to her age and development stage, though it was hard to tell with humans. He caught her looking and offered a small wave. Lily blinked in surprise at this informal gesture. Later, as they were being shown to their accommodations in a specially prepared facility, the young human approached her. "Hi, I'm Tom," he said. "My dad thought you might like someone your own age to talk to while the adults do all the boring diplomatic stuff." "Your dad?" Lily asked, unfamiliar with the term. "Oh, sorry. Director Adams is my father." He gestured toward the silver-haired human who was deep in conversation with Captain Rem. "I see. Captain Rem is my mother," Lily replied formally. Tom smiled. "Cool. So you've never been to Earth before, right? Would you like me to show you around the base tomorrow? After the morning meetings?" Before Lily could respond, Captain Rem appeared at her side. "We must rest now. The different gravity and atmosphere require adjustment time." She looked at Tom with a neutral expression. "You are Director Adams' offspring?" "Yes, ma'am," Tom replied, straightening slightly. "Interesting that he brought you to a diplomatic function," the captain observed. Director Adams joined them, placing a hand on Tom's shoulder. "I hope Tom wasn't bothering you, Captain. I thought the young people might enjoy meeting each other." "Not at all," Captain Rem replied. "Though I am curious about your decision to include him in this mission." Director Adams smiled. "Family is important to us humans. And besides, this is historic, the first meeting between our peoples. I wanted Tom to be part of that history." As they continued to their quarters, Lily thought about the easy way Director Adams had touched his son's shoulder, and the way Tom had smiled at her. There was something between them she had never experienced with Captain Rem, something she couldn't quite identify but found herself suddenly, inexplicably yearning for. The morning sun streamed through the windows of the meeting room as the humans and Iridians gathered around a large oval table. Lily sat quietly beside Captain Rem, listening as the adults discussed trade agreements, cultural exchange programs, and security protocols. Her antennae twitched occasionally, picking up the subtle emotional undercurrents in the room that her people's regular senses couldn't detect. Director Adams spoke with passion about Earth's desire for peaceful relations. Captain Rem responded with logical precision about the benefits of cooperation. The contrast between their styles was striking. "Perhaps we should break for lunch," Director Adams suggested after 2 hours. "We've made excellent progress this morning." Captain Rem nodded. "That would be acceptable." She turned to Lily. "Return to our quarters and review your educational modules." "Actually," Director Adams interjected with a smile, "I promised my son could show Lily around our facility today. With your permission, of course." Captain Rem hesitated. "Our young are not typically given free time during important missions." "Mom, I've completed all my studies for this cycle," Lily said, trying to keep the hope from her voice. "Observing human customs would be educational." After a moment's consideration, Captain Rem nodded. Very well. Return by the evening meal. Tom was waiting outside, his face brightening when he saw Lily. They said yes? Great! There's so much I want to show you. As they walked through the facility, Tom pointed out various features: the greenhouse where they grew fresh food, the recreation center, and finally, his favorite spot, a small hill overlooking the base. This is the best view, he said as they reached the top. The landscape stretched out before them, red desert meeting blue sky at the distant horizon. It's beautiful, Lily breathed. I've only ever seen planets from space or in simulations. Really? You've never been on a planet before? Lily shook her head. I was born on our ship. Most Iridians live on space stations or vessels. It's more efficient. But don't you miss having roots? A place to call home? Tom asked. The ship is my home, Lily replied, though she felt a strange uncertainty in her words. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Tom asked, What's it like? With your mom, I mean. My mother is an excellent captain and educator, Lily answered automatically. Tom laughed. No, I mean, what's she like as a mom? Do you guys hang out? Do fun stuff together? Lily's antennae flattened slightly in confusion. We don't hang out. She ensures I receive proper nutrition, education, and skills training. That's her role. Tom looked genuinely shocked. That's it. My dad and I do all kinds of things together. We go hiking, watch old movies, cook dinner. Even when he's busy with work, we always have our Sunday pancake breakfast. It's our thing. Your thing? Lily repeated, unfamiliar with the concept. Yeah, you know, our tradition. Something special we share. Tom smiled softly, looking at the horizon. After my mom died, Dad made sure we kept doing special things together. He says family is about being there for each other, no matter what. Lily felt something stir inside her, a longing she couldn't name. Among her people, parental figures were respected, not loved. The word came to her suddenly. Humans loved their offspring, and offspring loved them back. It wasn't just biological necessity or societal function. As the sun began to set, casting golden light across the desert, Lily realized she was seeing something new, not just a different planet, but a different way of existing. You're quiet tonight, Captain Rem observed as she and Lily ate their evening meal in their quarters. Did you find the human facility educational? Lily looked up from her food. Yes, Captain. I learned many things about humans today. Good. What observations did you make? Lily hesitated, unsure how to express what she had felt on the hilltop with Tom. They value connection. Personal connection. Captain Rem nodded. Yes, humans form emotional bonds that often defy logical explanation. It makes their society less efficient but gives them certain advantages in creativity and motivation. Is that why we don't? Lily asked suddenly. Form bonds like they do? The captain's antennae stiffened slightly. Our species evolved differently. We prioritize clear thinking and efficient social structures. Emotional attachments can cloud judgment. Later that night, Lily couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Tom and his father and their Sunday pancake breakfast. Such a strange concept, setting aside time simply to be together, with no purpose beyond connection. The next morning brought more meetings. Lily sat through discussions about technology exchange and planetary defense cooperation. She noticed how Director Adams would occasionally look at her and smile, as if sharing a silent joke. Her own mother never looked at her that way. During the lunch break, Tom appeared again. Dad says I can take you to our house this afternoon, he announced excitedly. It's Saturday, and we always have a family movie night on Saturdays. He thought you might like to join us. Lily blinked in surprise. Your dwelling? But the diplomatic schedule. The afternoon meetings got postponed. Tom explained. Something about your ship needing to run some tests. So we have free time until tomorrow. Dad already cleared it with your mom. The idea of visiting a human home was both exciting and slightly frightening. What is movie night? Tom grinned. It's when we watch stories together on our view screen. We make popcorn and sit on the couch and just hang out. As a family. Director Adams approached them. I hope you'll join us, Lily. It's nothing fancy, just a little family tradition. There was that word again. Family. The way humans said it made it sound like more than just a biological connection. I would be honored, Lily replied formally, though inside she felt a flutter of excitement. The Adams home was a short drive from the base, a modest building with a garden and large windows. Unlike the sleek, efficient spaces of the Eridian ship, this place had character. Photos lined the walls, cushions were scattered on comfortable-looking furniture, and colorful items with no clear purpose decorated shelves. This is our home, Tom said proudly. What do you think? It's not very efficient, Lily said honestly, then quickly added, but it feels nice. Director Adams laughed. Efficiency isn't everything. A home is about comfort and memories. He showed her to the living room where a large screen dominated one wall. Tom disappeared into the kitchen and returned with a bowl of white, fluffy objects. Popcorn, he explained, offering her some. Movie snack tradition. As they settled on the soft couch, Lily noticed a photo on the nearby table. Tom as a younger child with Director Adams and a woman with a bright smile. That's my mom, Tom said quietly, seeing her gaze. She died when I was 8. Director Adams placed a gentle hand on his son's shoulder. She would have loved to meet you, Lily. The simple gesture, a hand on a shoulder, the shared memory of someone loved and lost, made something shift inside Lily. As the movie began to play, she found herself less interested in the story on the screen than in the story unfolding around her. A father and son who had faced pain together and still found joy in simple moments of connection. The next morning brought a surprise. As Lily prepared for another day of diplomatic meetings, Captain Rem received an urgent message from the Eternal Dawn. There's been an incident, Captain Rem explained, her face showing no emotion despite the serious news. A small asteroid damaged one of our communication arrays. I must return to supervise repairs. Should I come with you? Lily asked. No. Your presence here continues to create a favorable impression. Director Adams has offered to take responsibility for you during my absence. The captain's antennae twitched slightly. This is an opportunity to gather more information about human culture. After Captain Rem departed, Lily found herself sitting beside Director Adams during the diplomatic meetings. Without her mother's watchful presence, she felt both nervous and strangely free. You'll stay with us while your mother is away, Director Adams told her during lunch. We have a guest room all prepared. Tom looked delighted by this news. This is great. We can show you so much more about Earth. That evening, in the Adams home, Lily experienced something entirely new, a family dinner. Director Adams, who asked her to call him Mike when they weren't in official meetings, cooked food using real ingredients, not the nutrient-balanced paste she was accustomed to on the ship. It's called spaghetti, Tom explained as he showed her how to twirl the long strands around her fork. It's messy but awesome. The meal was nothing like the efficient, silent nutrition periods aboard the ship. Here they talked and laughed. Director Adams asked questions about her life, showing genuine interest in her answers. They told stories and joked with each other. Your cooking has improved, Dad, Tom teased. Remember when you burned the pancakes so bad the smoke alarm went off? Director Adams laughed. Hey, I've come a long way since then. Your mom was the cook in the family. I had to learn from scratch. From scratch? Lily asked, unfamiliar with the expression. It means starting from the beginning, with no experience, Tom explained. After Mom died, Dad had to learn to do a lot of things he'd never done before. It was worth the effort, Director Adams said quietly. Keeping our family traditions alive meant everything. Later, as Tom showed Lily how to play a simple board game in the living room, Director Adams received a call. Lily's sensitive hearing picked up Captain Rem's voice from the other room. The damage is more extensive than initially reported, her mother was saying. I will need to remain aboard for at least 3 more days. That's no problem at all, Director Adams replied warmly. Lily is welcome to stay with us as long as needed. She's fitting in wonderfully. When he returned, Lily pretended she hadn't heard. But inside, a small spark of excitement flared. 3 more days in this warm, chaotic, inefficient human home. 3 more days to experience what humans called family. That night, in the guest room, Lily looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere up there was the eternal dawn with its clean lines and logical systems. For the first time in her life, she didn't miss it. She thought about her mother, efficiently directing repair crews with cool precision. And then she thought about Director Adams laughing as tomato sauce splattered his shirt, Tom teaching her to play games with no educational purpose, and the photographs of moments captured simply because they meant something. The next day was Sunday, and Lily woke to unfamiliar sounds, clattering from the kitchen, music playing softly, and Tom's laughter. She followed the sounds and found Tom and his father in the kitchen surrounded by bowls, flour, and various ingredients. Good morning! Director Adams greeted her cheerfully. You're just in time for our Sunday pancake tradition. Tom grinned, his hands covered in flour. Dad's teaching me his secret recipe. Want to help? Lily hesitated. Food preparation was done by automated systems on the ship. The idea of manually creating nutrition seemed inefficient, yet strangely appealing. I don't know how, she admitted. Perfect time to learn, Director Adams said, pulling out a chair for her. Everyone starts somewhere. For the next hour, Lily experienced the messy joy of cooking. She mixed batter, learned to flip pancakes, dropping the first 3 on the floor, and finally created one perfect golden circle that made her feel irrationally proud. Well done! Director Adams praised, placing her creation on a plate. Your first pancake is an important milestone. As they sat down to eat, drizzling sweet syrup over their stacks of pancakes, Lily noticed something. This is your special tradition, she said. The one you told me about. Pancakes on Sunday. Tom nodded, mouth full. Every Sunday, no matter what. Even when I was traveling for work, Director Adams added, we'd video call and make pancakes together, miles apart. Why? Lily asked, genuinely curious. What's the purpose? Director Adams considered her question seriously. The purpose is connection. Creating memories. When life gets busy or hard, these small constants remind us who we are to each other. That afternoon, they took Lily to a nearby park. She marveled at the open sky, the grass beneath her feet, and the other human families enjoying the day. Children ran and played while adults watched and talked. Is this normal? She asked Tom as they walked along a path lined with trees. All these families spending time together with no specific function? Yeah, it's just what families do, Tom shrugged. Spend time together. They passed an elderly human couple holding hands, a parent teaching a small child to ride a wheeled device, and a group having a picnic. But they're all different, Lily observed. Some are just 2 people, some have many children, some have older humans. Grandparents, Tom explained. Parents of parents. And yeah, families come in all shapes and sizes. It's not about who's in it, it's about taking care of each other. As the sun began to set, they walked back to the house. Director Adams received another call from Captain Rem, updating him on the repair progress. Your mother says they're working as quickly as possible, he told Lily afterward. Lily nodded, but felt a strange conflict inside. Part of her missed her mother and their familiar, ordered life. But another part, a growing part, wished the repairs might take just a little longer. That night, as she was preparing for sleep, Director Adams knocked on her door. Everything okay? He asked. Need anything? On the ship, once Lily entered her sleep cycle chamber, no one checked on her until morning. This simple act of caring struck her deeply. I'm fine, she said. Thank you for everything. He smiled warmly. That's what family does, Lily. We look out for each other. As he turned to go, Lily realized with a start that she was beginning to understand what he meant. The message came early on the fourth morning. Repairs to the Eternal Dawn were complete. Captain Rem would land within hours to collect Lily and resume the diplomatic meetings. Lily felt a heaviness in her chest as she packed her few belongings. Tom stood in the doorway of the guest room, watching her with sad eyes. "I wish you didn't have to go back to your ship," he said finally. "I must," Lily replied. "It's my place." Director Adams prepared a special breakfast, making all of Lily's favorite foods that she had discovered during her stay. As they ate, he spoke of the future of human-Iridian relations with enthusiasm. "This is just the beginning," he said warmly. "Our worlds will grow closer. Perhaps someday you can return for a longer visit." When Captain Rem's shuttle landed at the base, Director Adams drove Lily back. Tom came along, uncharacteristically quiet during the journey. Captain Rem stood waiting, tall and perfectly poised as always. "Lily," she greeted with a nod. "I trust your time with the humans was productive?" "Yes, Captain," Lily answered, falling automatically into the formal patterns of Iridian communication. As they prepared to board the shuttle, Director Adams surprised everyone by embracing Lily in a gentle hug. "You're welcome in our home anytime," he said. "You've become like family to us." Tom hugged her next, whispering, "Don't forget about pancakes." Captain Rem observed this display with her antennae twitching slightly, the only sign of her surprise. On the journey back to the Eternal Dawn, Captain Rem asked Lily for her observations about humans. Lily spoke of their inefficient living spaces, their emotional communication style, and their curious traditions. "But," she added hesitantly, "there is something about their way that has value." "Explain," Captain Rem requested. Lily chose her words carefully. "They support each other. Not just for practical purposes, but because they care. They create connections that make them stronger." Captain Rem was silent for a long moment. "I have observed this as well," she finally said. "It is different from our way, but not without merit." That evening, after the diplomatic meetings concluded, Lily was surprised when Captain Rem came to her quarters. This was unusual. They normally only interacted during designated education periods or ship functions. "I have been thinking about your observations," Captain Rem said. "The humans' emphasis on family bonds is central to their society." "Yes," Lily agreed. "It seems to give them strength." Captain Rem hesitated, then said something that shocked Lily. "Perhaps our ways could evolve. Would you join me for the evening meal tomorrow? Not for nutrition, but for conversation." Lily felt her antennae quiver with emotion. "I would like that." After her mother left, Lily went to her viewport and looked down at Earth, glowing blue and green against the darkness of space. She thought of Tom and Director Adams, of pancakes and movie nights and simple acts of caring. The Eternal Dawn would soon depart Earth to report back to the Iridian Collective. But Lily knew that she was taking something precious with her, a new understanding of what it meant to be connected to others. A meaning of family that transcended species and space. And perhaps, in her own small way, she was bringing that understanding to her people, beginning with her mother. The meaning of family, Lily had learned, was universal after all.